Hello and welcome back to Matt's Modded Let's Play. This is episode 10. As you can see, I'm down in my little Thaumcraft area, and as you can see, I've done a little bit of work since last time. Well, I have encased this entire area with as many bookcases as I can without working in some complicated door system, which I may actually do like there in the future to get a full set of bookcases. As you can see, I'm still researching cobblestone. I do have another fragment of lost knowledge, and I have been researching the various fragments I've got, which are just basically, as you can see, I'm on cheat mode at the moment because I have been doing a lot with Mistcraft, and obviously with the little bug there that can happen due to the red power 2 conflict with the way terrain generation does. It can stuff up your inventory, which is why I save the inventory before each time. As you can see, pickaxe of the core and wonder reversal, hard and tricky. Now, I'll most likely lose them at the moment with that. However, I did, as you can see, I've moved now this, as you can see, my axe of the stream there, I have now got Stabilized Singularity Discovery, Sword of the Zephyr, which you saw me make just at the end of the last episode, Crucible of Eyes, and the Hoe of the Mystic. So let's grab all 4 of them, and we'll grab a spare book out for something to make afterwards. See, Crucible of Eyes. You need a normal crucible, you need a redstone and a spider's eye. Now, holds more vis and is more efficient with the basic crucible, and is nearly full to emit a redstone signal. It's very useful. We shall be getting on to how we make stuff like this in this episode. See, Sword of the Zephyr. I need a thaumium sword, some vaporous crystals, and some enchanted wood. And this enchanted sword allows you to call lightning, so if you get surrounded by a group of enemies, you hit one of them with the sword and they all get shot with lightning. And then you can actually like jump towards people and stuff like that, which is another reason why having those longfall boots is useful. So this one's Stabilized Singularity. This is an update for, or upgrade, sorry, for the various devices Thaumcraft give you. Made using what's known as an arcane singularity, stone slab, and an earthen crystal. And the last item is Hoe of the Mystic, which requires a thaumium hoe, some V's crystals, and I should say this basically makes tilling and harvesting large areas very, very easy. But as we've got a farm up there, it's not going to be too difficult. But this 4th discovery allows us to add a book into the middle of 4 discoveries to make a Thaumonomicon. I do believe I'm saying that right, but don't shoot me if I'm not. Now this is a collection of all the recipes we've found so far. As you can see, Axe of the Stream, Crucible of Eyes, Hoe of the Mystic, Stabilized Singularity, and Sword of Zephyr. And as you can see, there's 37 discoveries. We have 4 so far. There's also Forbidden, which is 13, Tainted, which there are 8, and Eldritch, which there is 12. Now, the Eldritch ones are quite difficult to get hold of. So, you may be asking how you can get half of these items. So, let us head back upstairs, and we shall start making a few items to help us get a basic system going for stuff like Vis production and stuff. Now Vis is the equivalent energy of Thaumcraft. Okay, where's the moon? Is it just risen? No. Okay. As you can see here, we're now up to Eternalist fuel from Mobius fuel. Now Eternalist fuel requires 8,192, so it's the same as the worth of a diamond. I think the moon's just there. So actually, instead of sleeping, what we're going to do is I'm going to quickly change back to cheat mode, just for this very reason. Delete and save. Grab 2 books just in case. Make 2 linking books. Please tell me I have some torches left. No. So I will need Now as you can see, there's a row of torches up there, and I'm basically discovered something when I was mucking around in the world before. It's quite disturbing. I'm just going to start making living in this particular area quite... As you can see, look, I've got 4 ages here. My normal age... Now this is the age I want to show you. So I have to hope to God it doesn't lag out. As you can see, all the symbols here. Let's hope this doesn't lag out. Aha, it's not. As you can see, this is an eternal dusk age. And it's a Skylands age. So if any of you have ever played Vex's... what's his name? Infernal Sky. You can see there's a zombie up there. Useful. Got my little island here. But yeah, as you can see, we're in a swampy biome. Eternal dusk with a green sunset. As you can see over there, you can see some purple stuff underneath there. Now I've seemed to have noticed that this is a quite common in this particular type of age. When it's creating ages, it seems quite common to be able to do that. Now, let's just while we're waiting for sunset to come. As you can see, I've done a lot of work with ages all the way up to age 99. As you can see, I've got a collection of biomes. There are more biomes still left to find. Now, the most interesting one I found so far is Hell. Now, a Hell biome I will show you when I start making my own ones, but it basically brings the Nether onto the overworld. See, bright age, dark age, and standard lighting. Sky, various different colours of fog and sunset. Now you can add these together to make various different combinations of colours. And then villages, strongholds, starfishes. Now starfishes are little areas in the ground, normally quite near to the spawn point where you warp in, that enable you to be able to jump back to the overworld in case you forget a linking book. Lava lakes, ravines and caves, pretty standard stuff. Terrain generation, void, standard terrain, flat and cave world. Now cave worlds are quite dangerous places and they do lag tremendously, and it's basically a giant cave world. You start off in a cave and that's basically what the world is. Flat world is self-explanatory. Void age is where you start off on a single block, and that's the only block that's existing besides, I think, Buildcraft oil, because that's added in after standard terrain generation, so it's after the void age gets made, and that's good for building stuff in. Various times, eternal day, eternal dusk. I found eternal dusk to be one of the most common ones on my particular thing of this. I don't know if it's common with everyone. Eternal night, fast time, normal time and slow time. I think I've got all of them now. I think eternal dawn as well, I think might be still one. Now, weather modifiers. So in normal weather, no weather, eternal storm, eternal snow and eternal rain. Do believe I've got all of them as well. And with world modifiers is the Skyline one, which we've just gone to see. Alright, I think the sun's risen enough and I've babbled on enough. Now, alright, now let's quickly head up, and as you can see, part of my mountain there has turned purple. Now this is going to cause me some problems. This is a good reason why I started Thaumcraft, and I didn't realise this was here until after I started doing more Thaumcraft stuff, which is good. Now as you can see, I've been placing torches around the edge to try and track how fast it moves. There's a cow up there, it's going to get turned very soon. Then, as you can see, I'm just doing that to see, but it basically turned. This is basically what Taint does. So I've spoken a little bit about these, which is basically the Thaumcraft equivalent of electricity that you generate from like solar panels and stuff. Now the byproduct of that is what's known as taint, and this is what happens when there's too much taint in an area. It builds up and then it forms a taint block, and it spreads very quickly at points depending on the taint level in surrounding blocks. Now hopefully my little tree there will increase the taint level, and worst comes to worst, I will clear out a part of the rainforest because rainforests have a naturally high Vs content. And as such, I'm hoping it should not spread too much further than this, because taint levels and Vs levels even out over chunk borders, and a chunk is of course 16 by 16 by 256 now. So hopefully these surrounding areas here will help to stop stuff from growing. As you can see, it can't go through stuff like marble and other mod generated stuff, but it will go through dirt and gravel, and I think gravel, and you can't break it too well, and you can't take out the tree, otherwise you get attacked by the taint version of silverfish. It led to a couple of very embarrassing deaths, and any creatures that happen to get turned by the taint become faster and aggressive regardless of whether they were friendly or neutral mobs beforehand. Yeah, making tainted areas quite dangerous, but they are a good source of tainted stuff to research downstairs. So as you can see, we've got a lot of stuff to be making. So let us collect it all out of our chest, various recipes, leaving those ones in there for now because that's for something else later on, and we may come back to bees by the end of this, but this is mainly going to be a Thaumcraft episode. Now, at the moment we're generating eternalist fuel, and let me just turn that on back into recipe mode. We're generating eternalist fuel just by thing, but that's not doing us any good because we can't charge it up anything like our Klein Star, or we can't use the energy apart from throwing it back into the transmutation tablet. But if we make this, which is called an antimatter relay, this will take any energy we get from an energy collector and place them into here, which we can then use to store to charge up stuff like our Klein Star, and we can turn items from our inventory directly into the Klein Star as well, so we don't have to use a transmutation tablet. Okay, now a couple of other items. I want to be moving around. As you can see, I've got a buildcraft wrench that I am going through this a little too quick, I think. But I want to be able to move this around because I want to be able to set this up so that I've got automatic macerating and then smelting. Unfortunately though, using a normal wrench only gives you a 75% chance or something like that. However, if you upgrade your buildcraft wrench using a electronic circuit and a battery, it doesn't have to be charged, but with the amount of electricity I'm generating, I thought I might as well charge it now. You get what's known as an electric wrench. Now the electric wrench, I do believe if you how do you change the mode of this thing? Let's have a look, but there is a way of making it so it might be to the fact that Ray's minimap is interfering, but you can use it to move your machines around. Now I'm going to be using that to start moving them around in a way so that I can move them under my house and then have automated stuff going up and down, so I can just throw stuff into a chest and it automatically gets macerated, gets smelted, and then gets stored away in a nice little storage system I'm going to be making. But I think that's going to be episode for the future. Is there anything else to be making on the surface? Nope, I do believe that's everything so far. So let us quickly just drag these items out and let's place our antimatter relay here. As you can see, we are generating stuff and the relay is not getting any of the energy. However, now we've done that, it is, which means the relay will, any energy that the relay collects from this link will be dragged back into there to increase it once you add stuff like this into it. But if you just let it run normally, all of it goes into the Mark 1 relay. Now Mark 1 relays are highly inefficient, but at the moment I don't have that much better of a V system, so I will throw my eternalist fuel in there, and now if you place anything in here, it will instantly burn it. It's like a little internal buffer, and as you can see there, it's done it there. So let us grab a nice amount of obsidian there. So let us grab, I think, no, don't want gravel, 6 stacks of cobblestone. Let's throw them in there, and that should charge up the relay using all this massive amounts of bits I've got there. Okay, so let's head back down to our Thaumcraft room to get some Thaumcraft stuff done. So as we're zipping along, zipping along, zipping along. I'm always worried there's going to be like a creeper or something that's spawned down here randomly. Okay, so first things first, Thaumcraft, we're going to need to make something that can help us produce these. Now for that, we need to make what's known as a crucible. Now as you can see with the crucible, you can use any type of crystal. You have to use a cauldron, which is 7 iron ingots in a reverse pattern from the trousers, leggings, whatever you want to call. And we also need to use a furnace, which we've seen many times before. As you can see, I've already made the cauldron and the furnace, and I'm using a vaporous crystal as I have a lot of them. And we get ourselves a crucible. Now a crucible allows you to throw any normal items in, and you'll produce a certain amount of taint and a certain amount of vis, which is very useful for making other things. Okay, so now we need a way of storing. Actually, no, not storing. We need a way of producing more. Of actually producing stuff. I'm confusing myself here. We need a thalmic infuser, or thalmic infuser. And for one of these, you need a crystal in the middle, stone slab, 4 iron, and 3 smooth stone. Bottom. So we do that, and that. Now this, when placed down, allows you to... You've seen the recipe in the Thaumonomicons where it's like the sort of triangle shape. So you got that, and then you've various other bits around it. This is basically the item that gives you that kind of crafting table, but it uses taint and vis to produce the items. It uses mainly vis, and there's a dark version of it that we can't get quite yet. And then we need a way of being able to get thalmic stuff, the vis and stuff from the crucible into the thalmic infuser. Now we can place them just next to each other, but that won't do us very good. So what we need to do is produce what's known as, and I've put them in the wrong order, always hate stuff like that, what's known as vis conduits. As you can see, it's glass panes surrounded by wood, it's redstone surrounded by panes and wood. So let us place down a conduit. I am planning slightly for the future here, so let's place a conduit there. We'll place that in a minute. Place another conduit there, and then we'll place our crucible there. Now as you can see, nice little flame effect. Get this way. Nice little flame effect. Getting some lag now that I've placed them down. Alright. So for now, we shall run just very simply it to here and place it here. As you can see, this is the infuser. Space for upgrades like we saw earlier with stabilized singularity, and I'll show you how you do more of this stuff soon. As you can see, the pipes there, so let us start producing. I'll place that there. So let us throw in, say, this glowstone. this redstone. See, it breaks it down and stores it in there. And as we have nowhere to store this particular stuff yet, it's just going to sit there. So let's have a look at our Thermonomicon. If there's anything, nope, nothing we can make from there just yet. However, we need to now look at ways of storing our Vs, which is where a Vs storage tank comes in. Now we need some of this enchanted wood and some glass panes. Now we have glass panes upstairs, and we need to make some enchanted wood. We shall have a look at the recipe for enchanted wood as soon as we go and get some. Now I can't remember whether or not I need planks or whether I need just the standard logs, so we'll grab both, although I do have a couple on me. Mr. Creeper in there. As you can see, I've done a little bit of harvesting wood and stuff to get enough link stands to do about 30 different ages. That took a hell of a long time, I tell you. Lags out no end. I do believe this is one of the first times I've spent an entire episode focused entirely on almost one entire thing. And as you can hear, zombies up there trying to break into the first little bit of room. As you can see, nothing in there exciting. Now the bookcases increase the overall speed. That goes, oh, we've got one. 7 league boots. As it's a hard difficulty, we'll add it into there for now. Right, we'll keep the hard difficulties there, we'll keep the tricky ones there for now, so we just separate them out. Okay, so we need some more stuff. Now you have to be careful with this to not overload it. I'm not throwing everything in. Okay, so we have some normal wood, we have some planks, and we now need to find the recipe for see loads of items up here. Enchanted wood. As you can see, you can't find the recipe out for it, which means we're going to have to try and do this the old-fashioned way. Now I think it's done like this. Now this is going to be a learning experience for me. I've not done much with Thaumcraft as a whole. So you place something there and something on this other side. And as you can see here, it's dragging Taint. It's dragging the Vs. Now as you can see here, there is some darker stuff in here, and this is what's known as Taint. Let's see, we are producing and as you can see there, you saw that nice little wispy effect there. That's just let a huge amount of taint into the atmosphere, unfortunately. So let's see if we can at least get enough. Nowhere close. Okay. Desperate times call for desperate measures. I know obsidian has a high amount of Vs content. You can see it's being drained into there now. See, it's a really cool little effect on top. I think the GUI in this game is incredible. You can see the conduits are completely filled with taint. So let us, while we're here, just grab 4 more of these vaporous crystals and add a couple of fiery crystals in as well. Now the various crystals do different things based on where they are. And I do believe that's everything. Okay, so if I throw in just a little bit of wood, we'll obviously have to be quite precise with the throws. Nearly. So very nearly. Now, I did forget to pick up some glass bloody panes from upstairs, didn't I? So I'd throw in a couple of earthen crystals straight into the crucible. You see, that just added a huge amount of vis into it. As you can see, every time we use a crystal, we get what's known as a chance for a depleted crystal. Now, we can turn these depleted crystals later on into more advanced items. I'm going to quickly cut the recording here while I'm about to head back and grab some panes, and I'll come back when we're ready to produce a way of storing our vis and our taint. Welcome back, and we now, as you can see, we're back in our Thaumcraft room, and I now have my glass panes. Now, if I remember the recipe correctly, it is enchanted wood surrounded by glass panes. So, probably screaming at me already, going, nope, you're doing it wrong, it's the wrong way around. And yes, it's the wrong way around. Okay, so we're going to be able to get 7 of these storage tanks. Now, I'm not going to need 7 yet, but we are going to need to figure out a way to make the storage. And as you can see, okay, so what we are going to do is as follows. We're going to put our 3 storage tanks here. Now we're going to draw. Each item has a certain draw strength, so it basically sucks it into the pipe and into the machine, but you only have a certain amount, so it's like 10 or something. I'm not 100% sure on the numbers. So instead of it coming out the bottom, say, let us, and of course you're going to be awkward like that. Just quickly grab some stone from this chest, and we will run the vis pipe into the tank. Just neaten this out a little bit. Now we will run the pipe directly behind. Now, as you can see, it's draining straight into it. Now, at the moment, that's just completely taint covered. Now, we will have various other machines plugged in along. I've done that wrong. This particular wall soon, but for now I shall leave it like that. So taint draws in behind there, and as I will tidy this up to make this look a bit neater some other time. You can see it goes behind there and drops into there. Now at the bottom of there it draws into our infuser. So let us drop, say, that into there. As you can see, it's drawing straight out into here. Going so fast you can't actually see it. Now, storing large amounts of taint in the same area is not a good thing. So the more taint we produce, if we fill this tank, there's a good chance it's going to explode at some point. And believe me, that's not what you want. Because then it lets a lot of taint into the area in one go. And we're very, very close So let's just throw everything else we have in here, and it's done. Okay, now just to get the last little bit of nice little few taint levels built up, and we shall leave that. We should leave the depleted crystals in there for now. We shall move our enchanted wood to there with our normal wood and our various Thaumcraft supplies. We shall take a stack of the cobble and throw it into here. Okay, so now I do believe we need to take a look at Dark Infusion. As you can see, we have the recipe for this, but we don't have the recipe for the Dark Infuser, which is basically the tainted version of what we have. And as you can see here, all of these items, until we get the recipe for it, we can't research it. Until we get the research for it, sorry, we can't build any of it. But now we have a nice little basic system there. Okay, so I'm going to take every earthen crystal I've got left because I want to show you something that I'm going to be making. I do believe we're close enough here for it to actually work slightly. Now over this side I'm going to create a small little room here. Just here for now, and I'm only going to do this with one particular crystal set so far, so the earthen crystals. Let's just dig that out once more, just so I have a nice little area to stand and watch. Right, so we have that here. Okay, now they like nice dark areas, so that could cause a little bit of a problem. But, and as they generate their own light anyway, it's not going to be too much of a problem. We have, you put 9 of the crystals together, because you can get between 1 and I think 4, and then you get what's known as an earthen vis ore. You take it out, so it is quite expensive, and I don't believe you can get it back. So you break this, you get like 1 piece back, which is not very efficient. But for now, if I place it onto the earth ground like that, as you can see, it looks like a standard crystal that you get outside in the world. Now this will grow and it will increase slightly the, I believe, the vis level. Sorry, it might draw from the aura. It might produce a little bit of taint. However, it does grow crystals, and once we get a certain item, we can harvest the crystals while leaving the main growth of it there. So that's a good thing, just to start getting a crystal farm. So do believe that is going to be a very good wrapping up point for today. We'll throw the last little bit of obsidian in. As you can see, we'll just quickly recap. Got a Thaumanomicon using research items we have. Due to the slight amount of research stuff we have, we've started off a very basic crystal farm. We've set up a very basic vis storage, vis usage and vis production facility. So, just as a quick demonstration, we throw a nice stack of, quarter of a stack of obsidian in there, or eighth of a stack of obsidian in there, and as you can see, it's being melted down or boiled down in the crucible, and then stored in our vis storage tanks. Each one can store 1,000 vis and taint, so 1,000 at most of the two combined. And then we use them in our infuser to make items. We have got 3 research items we need to do later, and we are currently researching some more cobblestone. As you can see, this is significantly faster now. So I do believe next time I shall move on to something a little less underground, and we shall do some more perhaps Mistcraft stuff, if I can find some more interesting stuff to show you. I'll start maybe writing our own ages, or we may be starting to work on a nice storage and automatic buildcraft, industrial craft production plant under our house, which will give us a nice little place for our use for our basement besides a partial little rail track. So until next time, this is Matt, and see you soon.